Hi everyone, good afternoon from my side. Happy weekend to you and a merry celebrations to every one of you. How was your day and how is the celebration going? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. And I trust you all had a great day. You are welcome to this afternoon broadcast. This is Dynamic Health and Awareness with Juliet, and it's a place we talk about all aspects of our health. It's a place where you learn how to use natural plant-based food you can easily found in your kitchen to live a healthy life and to achieve your overall health goal. And it's a page where we focus on female fertility health as well, helping them to get knowledge and things and tips that can also help them to fulfill and achieve their fertility goal. You are all welcome. And if you are joining me for the first time, please say hi so I can welcome you, especially to this afternoon broadcast. We are going to be looking at an awesome topic this afternoon. You are welcome for wherever you are joining from. So please, before we start, let's just take 1 minute and quickly share this video, share this broadcast, please. There is love in sharing, and I believe we are in the season of sharing. So let's share this broadcast so others to join us so that they can also benefit from this broadcast this afternoon. So let's share so that they can join us. Let me quickly do my sharing. My network is bad. Please hold. I'll show this to you. Okay. Oh. So you are welcome. You are welcome once again, and we are going to be looking at safe period, safe and unsafe period. No understanding safe and unsafe period. That is what we are going to be looking at this afternoon. You know, when it comes to achieving pregnancy or conceiving, there are many couples or singles who do not really want to give birth. And unfortunately, it happens that the baby comes unexpectedly. And for some singles who are still not willing to have babies, you see, they end up having this baby, and what normally they do is just to abort it. So there are many things that you can understand that can save you a lot of all these unwanted abortions. And for families or couples that are also trying, understanding your safe period is also very good. So many families of singles struggle with some birth control. So though most of this birth control can be favorable or unfavorable to them. So what if it is not the right time for one to have a baby? It's not the right time for you to have a baby. can you avoid this unwanted pregnancy by natural method? Can you avoid it, such as maybe calculating your safe period or knowing your fertile window? Okay, you really want to know, or you need to know the answer before you begin to rely on any of those such method of preventive pregnancy or contraceptive method you are to go for. Because not all these methods are really effective, but some can also go a long way in helping you. So before we go into that, we need to know what is safe and unsafe period. So when you talk of safe period, it is a time in your menstrual cycle when a woman is not fertile. And why unsafe period is a time in the menstrual cycle when a woman is more fertile than just the opposite of each other. So this means that in a safe period, that means you can have unprotected sex with your partner, and at the same time, you can also prevent pregnancy. Definitely sounds really good, right? But how does this safe, how is it really safe? And how do you calculate this your safe period? Knowing how to calculate your safe period can really make it safe for you. But if you are able to calculate the safe period, no, you can end up with the negative results. So all women, as you all know, have such a menstrual cycle phase. And they also have these different phases of menstrual cycle, as well as ovulation is also one of them. So during these days, especially during the ovulation phase of a menstrual cycle, the egg is normally released to be turned into a baby or become fertilized. And this fertilization can occur if the female egg meet with the sperm already in the fallopian tube. And at the same time, ovulation, takes place in the middle of the cycle, between 12 to 14 days after the period. So the days after this ovulation and the days before the actual bleeding are therefore deemed to be a safe period. So this is your safe period. However, the duration of this safe period varies from every woman. For one, menstruation or menstrual cycle may last between 21 to 36 days. Secondly, potential of this fertilized egg may also happen on any days of the cycle. So your body may have normal, sometimes a kind of hormonal jump or hormonal imbalances or other things happening on that day that you may consider to be a safe period that may not lead to conception. This is why women that are also taking some kind of birth control pills or contraceptive, and they end up still getting pregnant when they are not ready for it. All these are due to some conditions like hormonal shift or hormonal imbalances or any other things that might interfere with the contraceptive method they are going through. So sometimes I also adjust this to some natural method like calculating. Sometimes simple calculation can sometimes may not provide you with the reliable data on this or safe period. So there are other things that you can do that you can be able to verify those days that are safe for you or unsafe for you. One of them is keeping track of your calendar. So that is why I'm going to be basing maybe talking about the calendar ring method of this natural way of identifying your safe or unsafe period. So in this calendar ring, it has to do with marking all the days your bleeding occur, the bleeding period, and sometimes days after they have also stopped. And also bear in mind that 10 days after this bleeding period have to be maybe a safe period. So if you are someone that is struggling with conception, you get some action going. So some of this can also increase your chances. However, if your goal is to avoid pregnancy, then you can just stay away from unprotected sex. So another thing is also taking your basal body temperature. This means that daily, every day, you need to take your temperature before getting out of bed by using a thermometer to take your vaginal temperature. So while you take this temperature, you just write it down. This basal temperature indicates where your ovulation happens. And if it rises, a slight rise in this temperature by maybe 1 degree, when you have this is when you have your best chance to conceive a child. So in this case, no unprotected sex as well. So when it drops down, it also indicates, especially in the middle of the cycle, you can get a safe day for fun. So if you follow all this instruction in this birth control method, it works well. But however, you also bear in mind that the span of the man can survive 5 days in a woman. So if you are hoping to get pregnant, and you can also use this ring method, which is also known as the modern natural calendar method, to determine the days to have sex. So similarly, if you are hoping to avoid pregnancy, you can also use this ring method as well to determine which day to also avoid unprotected sex. So using the ring method for birth control, it also requires a careful record, keeping, and at the same time, you also need to be persistent while you are using this ring calendar method. So if you do not want to conceive, you and your partner must avoid having sex, or you can decide to use the barrier method of contraception during your fertile days each month. So why it is done, why this calendar ring method is done, is that this ring method can be used as a way to promote fertility. Also, it can also be a method of contraception by also helping you to determine the best day to have or avoid unprotected sex. So some women, as you know, some women, they decide to choose the use of this method. Excuse me. They decide to choose the use of this ring method if there are some complex medical history, because some medical conditions can prevent them from other traditional birth control option, or maybe due to their religion or their belief or their culture, they might not want to go. So that is why I decided to choose this ring method. So for any reason why choosing it, remember that it has some benefit, it has some advantages and disadvantages. So one of these is that the ring method is an inexpensive, and it's also an easy way to help you chart your fertility. It helps you to keep record of your fertility and the time of the month when you are most likely to be able to get pregnant, which are your fertile window. It also helps you to get track of them. Also, using this ring method as a form of birth control does not really pose you to any kind of a risk or diseases. But however, it is also considered one of the least effective form of birth control, because there are other various methods that can also be more effective than the ring method. But though it is easy to use and it is not costly to use, so, and it also helps you to understand your fertility, your menstrual cycle more better. So how well this ring method works also varies from various persons. In general, as you know, in every 20 out of 100 women that use this natural planning of birth control, out of these 100 women, you can see that 24 of them can get pregnant the first year if they are really ready and persistent and consistent in using this natural method of birth control. So this method does not protect you from sexually transmitted disease like other methods. There are other methods that you can use that can prevent you from all kind of vaginal infections as well. But this method does not protect you from any kind of infection. So what can you expect when you are using this traditional calendar ring method? No, it has to involve some steps. If you are using this traditional calendar ring method to track your menstrual cycle to know when you are more fertile or when you are not fertile, you have to follow some steps. There are some steps you can follow. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining me. You are welcome. We are looking at understanding safe and unsafe period. For every woman, sometimes there are some women who doesn't want baby, but it happens that the baby just come up unexpected. So they begin to blame each other that they don't want it. Why? There are some that want it, but they are unable to get it. So understanding this safe period and unsafe period can give you more understanding about when to have sex and when to avoid it. So like as I said, that when you are using this calendar ring method, it's a traditional method that is cost less expensive and also is the least effective method of all other forms of concentration that are used. So in order to work with this traditional ring method, there are some steps that you must understand. One of them is to record the length of your period for about 6 to 12 months. So if you are able to record your period for a whole year or 6 months in a year using this calendar, you know, it helps you to write down the number of days in each of your menstrual cycle, and at the same time, count it down from the first day of the period to the last day of the period. You just begin to mark it on the calendar. It will help you understand your menstrual cycle, and at the same time, it will also help you to know when is your safe period if you are trying to conceive. Also, this calendar ring period method also help you to determine the length of your shortest menstrual cycle. Why? Because sometimes in some women, they will discover that in some months, their menstrual cycle will be long. Sometimes it will be short. So this calendar ring method also help you to know which month you have this shortest cycle or the longest cycle. So when you have the month you have the shortest cycle, that month you have the shortest cycle, what do you do in order to know when is your safe period? So what you will do is that the month you have the shortest cycle, subtract 18 from the total number of days in that month. Subtract 18 from your shortest cycle. So this number represents the first fertile day of your cycle. For example, if your shortest cycle is 26, which means you are going to subtract 18 from 26, which will now give you 8. So in this example I have just given, the first day of your cycle is the first day of your menstrual bleeding, and the eighth day, which that 8 you have of your menstrual cycle, is the first fertile day. So the 8th day is when you begin to walk into your fertile day, and you know your fertile days can last within 3 to 5 days. So from day 8 you begin to enter into your fertile window, so that if you are trying to get pregnant, you start playing along on that day, the 8th day. along within that 8 days to between 5 days, within that 8 days is going to be your fertile window where ovulation can take place. So another thing you also need to understand with this calendar ring method is also you can also help you to determine the length of your longest menstrual cycle. If you have the longest menstrual cycle, if you are tracking it all through the year, if you have a month that the menstrual cycle become longer than the previous one, what will you do to know the fertile wind day, whereby you are very fertile or you're safe on a safe period? Is to subtract 11 from the total number of days in your longest cycle. So this number that you subtracted represents the last fertile day of your cycle. I cite another example. For example, if your longest cycle is 32 days long, let's assume month of November, it was 28 days. October was 28 days, and the month of November was now 32 days. It means that this cycle of November is longer than the one of October. So, being that when you calculate it, it was 32. What you do to know your fertile or when you are more fertile or safe or unsafe is to subtract 11 from 32. When you subtract 11 from 32, you get 21. So in this example, the first day of your menstrual cycle is the first day of your menstrual bleeding is the 21, that is the 21st day of your cycle. And it's also the last fertile day of your menstrual cycle, which means day 21 will be the last fertile day. So, which means you are going to make sure that you start having sex 5 days before that day 21, because it's going to be the last fertile day of your menstrual cycle. So, within that day to day 21, you start is going to be a fertile window. So, this calendar method also help you to plan sex carefully during this fertile day. If you are hoping to avoid pregnancy, you can also use unprotected sex as well to prevent the pregnancy of this limit. So, fertile days every month. On the other hand, if you are hoping to get pregnant, have sex regularly during these fertile days without preventing it, or without using any kind of birth control or protection. So without protection, just go have sex unprotected. So this calendar method also helps to update your calculation. When you are using this calendar method, like as I said, every month varies for a woman. There are some months you will have the longest cycle. There are some months you will have the shortest cycle. If it happens like that, with this calendar method, you will also help you to begin to update your calendar, your calculation every month. Continue recording it, continue recording the length of your menstrual cycle to make sure that you are properly determining your fertile window. So if you do not keep record of each month, you will not be able to know your fertile window of that month. So for people that have various lengths of menstrual cycle, this calendar method can help them track their their fertile window or their safe or unsafe period. So keep in mind that there are also many factors like medication, like stress or illness that can also affect the exact timing of your ovulation. So, for you to know if one is overstressed, stress can inhibit ovulation or prevent it from taking place. And this will also affect your timing of your sex, as well as knowing when you are most fertile, because stress and distort your neutralizing hormone, your follicle stimulating hormone. It can also distort them, and it can also affect the gland that produce or regulate this hormone. So that is why you need to make sure you keep stress under control. Sometimes some medication you are taking can also distort with your hormones as well. So if someone have a kind of irregular period, this method can be inaccurate for them due to irregular period. Maybe they are not seeing their period regularly. It's not coming every time the way it ought to. So this irregular period can make this calendar method not to be accurate. So if this has to be the case, you have to shift to the standard day method. We have the standard day method that can be more accurate than the calendar method. So this standard day method is a modern method or an approach that can also be substituted for the calendar day method. So in this calendar day method, it works best if your menstrual cycle are usually between 26 to 32 days long. So for people who menstrual cycle are between these days, this modern method works well for them. So if, for example, your period is below, maybe on the lower range, this modern day method might not work, but calendar method can work most for you. So to use this standard days method, what do? You count the days of your menstrual cycle, starting from the first day with the first day of your period as day 1. So continue counting each of the days in your menstrual cycle until the next day the period starts again. So with this, you take record of your cycle length. So after you know your cycle length for that month, what is the next step you do? You remember that every period starts on the 1st. From the 1 to the 7, you are not considered to be fertile. And you can have unprotected sex if you don't want to get pregnant. Whether you want to get pregnant or not, unprotected sex, you can have it. Though you may have menstrual bleeding on this day. Sometimes many women who have shorter cycle, they can decide to have sex during their menstrual cycle, when they are bleeding. But though this can also increase their chances of pregnancy, but it also has some risk associated with it, because this having sex during your period, it can raise a woman's risk of infection, because it has to do with body-to-body contact. So it can raise the woman's risk of infection. So from the 1 to 7, the menstrual period is on. So on the 8th of that period, from the 8th to the 19th, when you are taking notes, these are considered to be fertile period. Fertile period whereby you can avoid unprotected sex or abstain from sex to avoid pregnancy. But if you want to be pregnant, you can have sex at this period. You can decide to have sex at this period because they are fertile and safe period for you to have sex if you want to get pregnant. So when it gets to the 20 of your period, the 20 through the end of your menstrual cycle, you are no longer fertile. You are no longer fertile because the ovulation has already taken place and has already passed, and the consistency of your cervical mucus has also decreases and have changed their texture. So even though you have unprotected sex or you have protected sex at this period, you are not definitely going to get pregnant. So when you get to your next cycle, what do? You start counting again. So all this help you to keep track of your cycle, different cycle days. So you can also use some tools. There are some tools available there that can help you to track your menstrual. We have your menstrual tracking apps. We also have the cycle beads, a kind of color beads or color code that are used, made up of beads to allow you to identify your fertile window or your unfertile window. So, or sometimes you can also download those apps so you can also use it as well. But remember that one thing about knowing when you are more fertile and not fertile, or safe or not safe, is paying attention to your cervical mucus. Your cervical mucus can determine the kind of time you are more fertile, and which can also increase the chances of the sperm to meet the egg. So these cervical mucus consistencies can help you to know when you are more fertile. So with this, you can be able to track your fertile window, and if you want to get pregnant, you can be able to begin to go for sex, having sex days before your ovulation, because it is more better that the sperm will be there waiting for the egg, and not the egg waiting for the sperm. No. So if you have sex before your ovulation, this can more increase your chances of conception than some women. They will wait until when they begin to feel that menstrual cramp, that ovulation cramps or pain, or the cervical consistency before they go. But sometimes, this ovulation we are talking about, it doesn't take up to few hours before you know it. It's just like a phase. It just move out. It's gone. It's gone. So that is why you need to have sex before ovulation. So those your fertile window is just to let you prepare yourself for the egg to be fertile. So with this, if you are planning for pregnancy, so understanding your safe period is very unsafe period is very, very important. So knowing your fertile window is very, very important, and this can raise your risk, increase your risk of conception as well. So make sure that if you are having difficulty in calculating or knowing your fertile window, with the calendar method that I just explained, with these simple examples I've just listed, it can help you, guide you along the way to know when your fertile window is, and when you start to prepare for it. So this is very, very important. So I don't know if we have any question. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining me. You are welcome. All right. Say I've started writing mine. Yes, good. You need to be writing it so that you will not forget. When you are writing it, it will make you to remember. Even there are some for the past year, just be taking it there. Even though the year has passed, still keep on taking it for as far as you know what you are looking for. So you need to be taking record of all this. They are very important, because you cannot put everything on your brain. If some women, when they are pregnant and the doctor asks them, when last did you have your menstrual cycle, they will begin to calculate. I can't even understand. I didn't remember. That is not good. As women, we need to know all this. We need to know all this. Sometimes they will be asking their husband, when did I tell you that I have it last time? It is not like that. These are things that concern our whole personal body. So we need to understand our body. We need to know what is going on as well. So it's very important. And there are also some natural things you should also be drinking, even at this weather. Sometimes when the weather is very cold, and there are some also other things you can be taking, or smoothies you can be taking, because there are some vitamins or nutrients that can boost your fertility, and at the same time can also increase your egg qualities, which can also increase your chances of conception. Not only just fertilizing the egg, but proper implantation is very important. After fertilization, just the sperm made the egg. Hey, thank God, I'm pregnant. But proper implantation is what really matters. If the baby is not well implanted, it will just fall off. So these are what normally lead to all those miscarriages. So what are those nutrients you will need? You need to make sure you are taking food that supports your fertility, food that supports the hormones that are responsible for your fertility, like these vitamins that are very important. Omega-3 is very, very important. So many people, they don't have this healthy fat. Fat is very important, and you need to get this fat in from what? Healthy fatty acid, not just anyhow fat. And this fat, your body needs it, so that when you are taking any multivitamin or prenatal vitamins, your body will be able to absorb them. Because I'm going to take time to really talk about these vitamins of a thing. We need to know what these vitamins are. Not just taking vitamins. There are some vitamins that they need, your body needs fat to absorb them. There are some that when you take them, when you go to pee, when you pee or you sweat, these vitamins off your body, which you need to be taking every day because they are water-soluble vitamins. So those water-soluble vitamins, the body does not absorb them for a long time. So when you take them, immediately you pee or you urinate, they are out of your body. But the fat-soluble vitamin, they are vitamins that are stored in your liver, which is the largest detoxification system in your body, and other fatty tissues. So which means this omega-3 fatty acid is a kind of acid that supports a woman's overall fertility. Even for the fetal development, implantation, healthy health as well, this omega-3 is very important. And you can make some things or add some nuts and seed that also contain this omega-3. And I talked about chia seed. Chia seed is very important. Chia seed is very important because it also helps with women that have this PCOS, that normally struggle with irregular menstruation. Chia seed is very important because it is loaded with healthy omega-3. And also, we also have vitamin D. Vitamin D is also very important. If you are not getting enough vitamin D, your hormones will also struggle. Your estrogen hormone need vitamin D to produce more. So we also have folates, which are this folic acid in supplement form. Or you can also get it in folate-rich diets. Eating leafy greens is very, very important. So increase more protein, especially for plant-based protein. Plant-based protein is more of value to you than animal-based protein. Like people that like eating protein from meat only. They say, no, I don't like eating fish. Some will say, no, I only like eating fish. I don't like eating meat. But in either way, make sure that you eat more of this plant-based protein. Is very, very important. You can also eat little of this animal-based protein like egg, meat, and beef as well. So get these essential vitamins that will really help you. So this folic acid is very, very important. Yes, folic acid is important. If you are taking the folic acid, remember, you must know there are different brands, there are different companies that are producing this folic acid. But when you are buying your folic acid, check other composition of this folic. What other things are added to this? You will see some folic acid, it could contain vitamin D. I have my whole here. It contains vitamin D, it contains omega-3. It contains different nutrients, different compounds as well. So this is when we talk of a comprehensive brand of this folic acid, there are some, they will be short of some of these nutrients and vitamins in them. So in that case, what do? Make sure you begin to also increase your intake of folates. Both folate and folic acid, they are the same. The folate is the food pattern of it, while the folic is the synthesized that has already been made into capsule or tablet for you. So In that case, make sure you begin to increase your intake of some folate food that are high in folate, like living greens, avocado, fortified fruit cereals, nuts, whole grain, as well as beans, chickpeas. All these are also high in folate. So increase your folate intake in addition to your folic acid. So why some people, I asked some of my women last time, and they said why they are taking this folic acid. Sometimes they pee a lot. Does folate make them to pee? Then I said, yes, it can help to pee if you have a strong detoxification and active liver and kidney. The essence of this folic acid you are taking, if it's too much in your body, your system helps you to excrete them out. It will no longer affect you. So it's only that some people will say, when I'm taking it make me do this, make me do this. So look at it. If you are not taking it, overdose. Because there are some, the doctor will tell you taking 400 milligrams of this folic acid is recommended. There are some case doctor will say take 800 milligrams of this folic acid. So depend on your prescription and what dose that you are taking. So you don't need to follow up with this the advice of your medical doctor. So it's very important. Do we have any other question? So make sure that you begin to take some things, especially this raspberry thing. You have the nesto, we have the peppermint leaf, we also have the red groves. So all these things, these leaves, they are very, very good to boost your fertility, especially you get them when they are dried. When they are dried, you can mix them all together. Just store them in a tight bottle. So every morning you can take 1 spoon of them, put it in a boiling water, allow it to boil for a few minutes. Then strain and drink twice a day. If you're able to do this, take this thing for 3 months. Even without this folic and all this folic acid, you will discover that it can boost your hair qualities. They have all those natural things because of the phytonutrients that they have. They help to support fertility of a woman. So it's very good. Sometimes we do not take this. Instead of sometimes we don't decide to be taking green tea. Green tea is not meant to boost your fertility. It helps to reduce stress, fight inflammation, reduce all those antioxidants that can destruct with your hair. But when you take fertility thing, it boosts your fertility. And those leaves are very good to boost your fertility. So please, let's make nature. Let's make use of this nature. Let's make use of them. Because instead of sometimes you ask them, some women, to get some fertility supplement, they will start complaining, it's too costly, it's too costly. So go for the thing. Make fertility thing your best thing. Instead of drinking those Bonvita, Milo, put those ones aside. At this age you are not supposed to be drinking those ones. You are not supposed to be drinking those ones anymore, because every woman's stages come with a specific nutritional support that can support your overall health. So if you are not eating according to your age, very soon you will start seeing the negative effects. So eat food according to your age. All those food that we're eating in your 20s, in your early 30s, once in your past 30s, you do not need those food. Even though if you feel like taking them, it's just in moderation. Every woman have their, because of our the way we are made. So every phases of our cycle come with nutritional needs. So meeting up with this nutritional need is very, very important. So that is why we all need to eat. We don't eat to live. We live to live. We don't eat to live. We live to eat. Live to eat. So Eat according to the way you are growing as a woman. Eat food that will meet your age, support your overall health, boost your sex hormone. Those sex hormone of a woman, they matters a lot. If you are not supporting them, very soon you will start seeing their negative effects. Food that boosts your estrogen, food that boosts your testosterone as a woman. Those two sex hormone, female sex hormone, don't play with them. Support your hormones, because if these two hormones are okay, they will help to support the other hormones as well. So that is us life. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. I appreciate. So I wish you a prosperous new year. This is the last Friday of the month and of the year 2023. So we see again, the next Friday is going to be a new year 2024. So I pray that all our expectations, all our desire will be manifested in the year 2024. And as we put all this in practice every day, we will surely see amazing results in the mighty name of Jesus. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining me. You are most welcome. Have a nice day, and please don't forget to share this video. And if you are coming across it, you cannot see this live stream or you don't join us, please kindly watch the replay and also try to share the video as well. So thank you and have a blessed day, blessed weekend. Happy New Year 2024. See you all. Bye.